Digital literacy in Enugu State. Teachers bring software coding to their students.
President Museveni reaches out to Ugandan youths. Some say he's a freedom fighter deserving of his power, while others say he fails to address their concerns.
Gele made easy. A ready-made version of the intricate head wrap worn by Nigerian women can now be bought on the market. Africa 54 starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Africa 54. I'm Chamberlain Oso at Channels Television here in Lagos. I'm joined by Vincent Makori at Voice of America in Washington.
Well, thanks. I'm Vincent Makori at our global headquarters in Washington, D.C. Happy to be with you again for another edition of Africa 54. We begin today's program with the software coding in the schools of Enugu State. Chamberlain Oso in Lagos brings you that story.
Teachers in Enugu State are being encouraged to embrace software coding and take the knowledge to their respective schools in order to ensure increased digital literacy among students. The idea is to improve the quality of education and groom technologically sound youths in the state.
This is a combination of teachers, members of civil society organizations, ICT and tech industry experts, as well as officials of the Enugu State Executive Council. They are here for the training of over 600 teachers from around the state on software coding.
Coding is the new global language that fuels innovation and development. We join the rest of the world to affirm that every child deserves to be fluent in this digital language. Thus, the government of Enugu State has selected teachers from its primary, secondary, vocational and technical schools, including the Enugu Assembly Center, to be trained in software coding. Afterwards, the teachers that are here will likewise train and inspire their pupils and students to code.
Partners as well as the facilitators believe technology should be fully harnessed as it is a stimulant for growth everywhere in the world.
The future of work is changing. The job we all do today didn't exist, most of us, the job we do today didn't exist 30 years ago, 25 years ago. So it means that the kids that you teach now, what they'll be doing in the future hasn't even been created. But something is sure. There's certain lifelong skills that would take them through that inevitable future.
Did you know that 90% of Japan's economy is comprised by small and medium enterprises? 90%. And not the huge conglomerates that we would have thought. This tells us that Africa's economic transformation lies in the hands of entrepreneurs such as yourself, who are looking to leverage technology.
I have the assurance.
For the Deputy Governor, infusing software coding into school curriculum is only a matter of time, as it is being considered in line with its ambition to increase digital literacy in the educational system.
It will contribute to driving sustainable economic growth in Africa. Enugu youths are the engine of economic growth in the state. Digital literacy powers this engine, and that is why this administration has sought and attracted to the state this largest digital literacy initiative ever organized on the African continent.
The training aims to bring the teachers and students up to speed with development in information technology and improve the quality of education.
Indeed, technology drives growth in various aspects, including creative writing. Before the advent of technology, African literature was transmitted orally. But today, there's the new media as well as the social media platforms. How much of this is being explored in African literature? Let's find out from a Nigerian author based in the UK, Dr. Anyete Isong, who has done extensive research and written about it. Welcome to the program, Dr. Isong.
Thank you very much.
We're going to start by you giving us your assessment of the use of technology in literary education in Nigeria.
I think first of all, we have to commend Nigerians for embracing new technologies. I remember not too long ago the Nigerian Communications Commission saying that think about 90-something million Nigerians, like 6 million if I'm not mistaken, currently internet users, which is quite a significant number. So if all those people are online, and there are many benefits attached to using the internet, so that in a way leads to a more engaged society, So I think that would also rub up on the literary community. So people learn a lot from the internet. I would say in the case of Nigeria, the use of technology for literary education is quite high.
Sounds encouraging. A lot of African literature shed light on issues that affect the continent and its people, and new media, as we know, provide a plethora of avenues for disseminating information. How well would you say the new media is being used by African writers?
Again, maybe because of Nigerians, I would say that Nigerians are very, very high users of new media, but also based on research that I did with Nigerian writers. An average Nigerian writer today has got a Twitter account, a Facebook account, a LinkedIn account, and an Instagram account. Now, some of them don't have all, but at least one person has got one. So they're using this based on my research. A lot of them are using it to engage with fans, are using it to find out more what's happening in the literary community, and most importantly, they're using it for professional development, which means helping them grow in their careers.
There's a school of thought that suggests that fully embracing technology could potentially mean doing away with some cultural attributes of African literature. Some give examples of the oral genre, such as folklore. Do you share this view?
I don't. I think there's room for both. Oral literature, in a way, new media embraces that culture of orality. So I think, social media, more than print is more isolated. When you're reading a book, it's just you. But for new media, especially social media, you bring in many people at the same time.
Looks like some real advantages there. But you happen to be the first Nigerian winner of the Maketerek Prize for Authors, and you should know about reaching diverse audiences. Now, are there any challenges that African writers face in a bid to reach their audience through new media technologies? You have any experience?
I wouldn't really say challenges. I would just say maybe strategy, because if you're an African writer or a Nigerian writer and you want to reach your audience and you've got 200 followers on Twitter, that's, you're barely scratching the surface. So it's a strategy of coming up with a strategy of how do you reach, the 90-something million people who are online in Nigeria. So maybe having different kinds of social media accounts. I talked about Facebook, I talked about LinkedIn, and the other ones, so that a more multi-dimensional strategy would lead more to a higher engagement with their audience. I wouldn't really say so. It's more, for me, it's more of a strategy.
All right, then, Dr. Anita Song, thank you for talking to us today on Africa 54.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we covered. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa54, and check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Now, coming up, a promise to help ease the impact of violence and climate change in the Lake Chad Basin region. That story after the break.